What's poppin' and welcome back to another video. It is Saturday night, the beginning of February here in Stockholm, Sweden, and we're about to get to work. But before that, I believe that we have a special package. Let's go get it. So what do we have here? We got some kind of advertisement, a lot of plastic pillows, but here we got the good stuff. First of all, we got some kind of shaker. You got this kind of when you boil this stuff, classic. All this stuff is for the gains, by the way. So we got half a kilogram of pre-workout, off the hook it's called. Pretty badass stuff, I hope. Ah, smells like biceps. Nice. We got another one because it was buy two get one for free. We got one sour apple and we got one tropical thunder. And on top of that we got 2 kilograms of whey protein. This is for the gains, you know. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Now we're gonna get back to the app. That's always good, some stuff for the gain, one-way ticket to Gain City. Tonight we're gonna work on the app. We're gonna, first of all, we're gonna upload some stuff to the database, because you know, that's just something we continually have to do as we get more of these stories. They have to go up on the database so you can actually access them through the app. Then after that, we're gonna start doing something which is quite exciting. We're gonna start coding again. If you look at my journal and we go to my habit tracker, we're gonna see that there is something lacking from January. Just take a look at this, coding. Not a single day we've coded. So, there's been over 5 weeks since I last coded. I don't know if I still know how to do it, if I still remember it, we shall see. But I think we have some small changes we have to do before we release the beta version of the app. So we're gonna get to that tonight. And with that said, let's get the apartment into work mode.
What I'm doing right now is that I'm updating all of the data for the different sagas that we're putting on the database in Firestore Firebase. This is this data management system that we use to manage all of the data like we've been over before, and all of the different sagas that we have a lot of different data points that we need to update in order for them to be accessible through the app. For example, there's a title, there's an image URL, there's an audio URL, and all of this is sent to Flutter via a future builder so that they can get access to all of the data for the sagas and then build lists as well as saga views for the different kids' stories. And this is quite a tedious job because there's probably a way to do this automatically somehow. I'm just too stupid to figure out how. So how I've done it now is I've got everything in a Google Sheet or a numbers spreadsheet, and then based on all this information I just upload it all manually like you can see here. So I have to go over each and every data point manually, add the title, add the URL and all of that. And the thing is here that if I enter anything wrong, there's a lot of stuff that can happen in the app. So when I update a bunch of sagas and I, for example, the number or the length of the saga, which should be a number, and if I input it as a string instead, for example, the app will not load it. So quite frustrating, and probably there must be some way to do this much more efficiently than I'm doing right now. But to begin with, I'll only have like 100 stories or so for now this will have to do. But now after this whole ordeal, onto the coding. So what I moved on to after uploading all of this stuff to the database was to begin coding again. And like I said earlier, I haven't coded for 5 weeks and boy was I rusty. It kind of reminded me like one of those instances where you've been, for example, when I lived in Canada, I didn't speak Swedish for a long time. Then I came back to Sweden and I didn't feel like I felt like I knew Swedish, but I felt like I didn't know Swedish, if you know what I mean. It was the same kind of feeling here. I felt like I knew everything I had to do. I felt like I knew everything I wanted to do. I just didn't know the proper way to go about it because I was not fluent in code anymore. Not to say that I was before, but I was definitely a lot better than I was now. So what would have taken me probably 20 minutes 2 months ago took me like an hour and a half today. But I managed to get everything done, so I made some changes to the main page itself. So for example, now you can see the Wonder Sagas originals as well. And you can, for example, see the classic sagas. And I worked on a featured saga feature, which was the most difficult part. And this is where I tried to make it so that for each saga that I put into the database with the saga ID in that list, it will show up as featured. However, this was much more difficult than I thought, because I was trying to cross-reference two different databases and it just wasn't working out. Because when you use the future builder in Flutter, it first pulls the first future and then it pulls the second future. And then you can filter the second future using a list, but in order to make that list, you need to convert the first future into a list, and that proved to be much more hard than I thought it would be. However, in the end I found a workaround, and I can't believe I didn't think about this to begin with. But what I did is what I just added to the database that I have right now. I just added a boolean value, featured, and then I set that to true or false. And then for the ones I want featured, I'll put that to true, and for the ones I don't want featured, I'll put that to no or false. So that was quite the waste of time if I think about it. But you know, I got to start coding again, got to get my swing back at it, so that was pretty good. Other than that, I changed all of the images which I used in the app. They used to just be regular image widgets. I changed all of those to cached network images. This is good for two parts. One, because it will make the user cache the images, so when you've loaded the images once, it will be much quicker to load them the next time because they will be stored in your cache. So essentially when you load the app the first time and you get all of the sagas pulled, you will also load all of the images at the same time, so when you use them at other places in the app later on, they will load much quicker, which is positive. Also, it allows you to add a placeholder, which I use the circular progress indicator, so now when the image is loading, it will spin, 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 you know, the classic stuff you kind of see and kind of expect. It used to be on Instagram, for example, but now Instagram is just too quick. But back in the day, 2012 Instagram, it had this linear progress indicator showing that the image you were trying to see is loading because it's 2012 and our Wi-Fi is slow as hell. But I've added that now, which is quite good. So those were two quite good improvements, but now I have some more stuff to do before I'm ready for the beta test of the app. For example, I need to add a circular progress indicator to the audio view, so when you press listen and the audio is buffering, I want to show that somehow. That's gonna be the next step. But for now, I was quite happy to be back coding, and I was quite happy with everything that I managed to do. And I think we're making some really good progress, and the app is looking slick as hell. We've got a lot of stories. I think we're up to 80 now. I think we'll have 100 once we do the beta test, so everything's going really good. I'm really happy about everything. With that said, yeah, I think that was everything for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and back to Past Herman.
Alright, that is that for this video. I appreciate you watching. It was good getting back to coding. It's quite difficult to start coding again once you haven't been coding for like 6 weeks. But yeah, it was definitely quite slow to begin with, but then I caught up, realized again what I was doing. So I got quite a few things done, and pretty much everything which I wanted to get done, I got done. I've been working for like 3 hours now. It's 10:30, time to go to bed so we can have a productive day tomorrow. That was that, just a quick update, just a quick back to the basic kind of coding. I hope you enjoy when I kind of explain, what I'm doing. I feel like that's quite helpful, or quite maybe interesting to some people who care about the details. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching. If you want to continue watching the Starting a Startup series, don't forget to subscribe down below. Like 75% of people watching this aren't subscribed, and I know I'm getting like 50, 30, 20 views a video, but anyway, 75% of you aren't subscribed. So if you enjoy it, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.